Welcome to Let's Talk About It. Broadcasting live from North Nashville, Tennessee. North Nashville spans from Metro Center down to the border of Bicentennial Mall, including the neighborhoods of Bordeaux, Buena Vista, Parkwood Estates, Germantown, Haynes Manor, Jefferson Street, Fisk Park, Cumberland Gardens, Oak Valley, Enchanted Hill, and many others. It's perhaps best known for the 3 universities housed here, including Tennessee State University, Fisk University, and Meharry Medical College. North Nashville is also home to the Tennessee Titans practice facility. The Tennessee Titans will begin construction on an expansion project at St. Thomas Sports Park, which will almost double its current footprint in Nashville's Metro Center neighborhood. The plan includes 60,000 square feet in additions, including a new building situated along one of the practice fields, and major renovation of spaces within the existing 75,000 square foot building.
Now live from North Nashville, Dr. William Head. Let's talk about it.
Today we have with us a friend who has been with us before, Miss Pam Cowley, and a new friend, Dr. Catherine Gifford. Both work at the Vanderbilt University Memory and Alzheimer's Center. Good afternoon, ladies.
Hello. We're happy to be here.
I'm glad you're still there. Hope I didn't overdo it. No, I don't. I hope I overdid it. Dr. Howard, tell us about your research and all that you're trying to investigate with Alzheimer and the loss of memory.
Absolutely. Well, I echo Pam and say thank you for having us on because as everyone can probably attest, they know somebody who is affected with Alzheimer's disease or dementia, either personally or they know somebody of somebody. It's a widespread disease, and it's a devastating disease where people lose. The person with Alzheimer's disease loses themselves, and then their loved ones lose that person and they slowly get to watch that person who they've loved lose their mind and ability to think and be the person that they were. So we're really, at the Vanderbilt Memory and Alzheimer's Center, we are dedicated to understanding the risk factors for Alzheimer's disease with the goal of developing new treatments and ultimately having a world without Alzheimer's disease. That's really the overarching goal.
You just mentioned risk factors. As I get older and as some of our listening audience gets older, we are very, very conscious of losing our memory and going into dementia and Alzheimer's. Tell us the difference between Alzheimer's and dementia.
Yeah, so that's a great question. So the term dementia is essentially just describes a set of symptoms. So when we say dementia, we're talking about people who have problems with their memory and thinking. And those problems are to a degree where that person is now having difficulty independently managing their life. So they might be having trouble driving, getting lost while driving, having accidents, not being able to keep up or pay with their bills, keep up or take their medications. Maybe they can't cook anymore. They're burning things on the stove. Even, as we progress, not able to bathe or dress themselves or things like that. So that's what dementia means. Dementia just tells us that there's a set of symptoms happening. It doesn't tell us why. And Alzheimer's disease is the actual disease, the thing that happens in our body that causes those symptoms of dementia, that causes those problems with thinking, that then cause problems in our daily life. So Alzheimer's is the most common cause, the most common disease that can lead to dementia. But there are certainly other causes out there. But again, Alzheimer's is the most common and the one that we hear the most about.
As we consider the aging process, just how important is continuing to use your brain, or is it important that you continue to be engaged mentally with something significant to you to avoid these memory losses and, of course, the end of life?
Yeah. So it's very important. I mean, the brain we think of as almost like a muscle, in that if we don't use it, we can lose those skills and those functions. So I think the most important things to do are to stay, well, there's many things that are important, but of the most important things are to stay mentally, but also physically active. There's a lot of research, and the research is all the same. The data points all in the direction that if we exercise, if we stay physically active, that is one of the best ways to increase the amount of brain cells that we have, strengthen the connections of our already existing brain cells, and do so in a meaningful way, meaning that the gains that we make stay, and we can see them across all areas of our life. And I'm not talking about exercise like now we're a bodybuilder or a marathon runner. This is 10, 20 minutes, 3 to 5 times a week, getting our heart rate up. Maybe, even just walking through the house or up and down the flight of stairs a couple times. Doing a workout with some easy hand weights that you could do in the chair. Again, it feels like a huge thing to do, but if we break it down and make it small and tiny, it can be easier to do. So physically and mentally active that's the really important.
So even the smallest activity that raises your heart rate is preferable to sitting on the couch wasting away.
Absolutely, exactly true. Anything that gets your heart rate going a little bit. And again, you can get your heart rate up when you're sitting on the couch. So you can be creative, but absolutely, yes, anything that gets your heart rate going.
Pam, since we're not talking to you much today, I want you to right now tell
Okay.
everybody how they can get in touch with you and the good doctor.
Oh, yes. I can give our email address and also our phone number. I'll start with the phone number.
Whatever you've got that's appropriate. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. I think phone number is best. What do you think, Katie?
Yeah, either one.
Yeah, so our phone number is 615-875-3175.
Do it again.
615-875-3175.
And your email address to the general.
I am pam.cowley@vumc.org.
All you
And
folks
that's
listening, do that again, Pam.
Pam Cowley, so pam.cowley, COWLEY, @vumc.org. Sorry.
And when you were on before, we talked about your role in outreach from the center. Are there any plans for you to get into, or are you currently into the community with your message about memory loss and Alzheimer?
Absolutely, and certainly it's picked up a lot here in these last few months as things have kind of opened up after being in the pandemic for almost 3 years, which is like incredible to think about. But one of the ways that we've really been able to connect with the community is through churches. So I've done some lunchtime presentations for those churches that have senior groups that kind of have a monthly meeting. And also we've been doing a lot of memory screenings with churches where we come out and bring the clinicians with us, and it only takes 10 or 15 minutes to do a memory screening. So one of our clinicians would do that screening with you, someone like Katie or another person with like her experience, a faculty member would review those results with you, and then we give you something to take home with information about how well you did. In the case where a person's score might perhaps mean that they need to get further assessment, then Katie or Dr. Gifford or some others that might be with me at those events would definitely like have a conversation with you on next steps. But we're open and willing to come to churches. Our schedule is filling up quickly for the next couple of months. So if you have a church or an organization and you'd like us to come out and provide those free memory screenings, like I said, it only takes 15 minutes or less, really, for the average person. And then you get a chance to actually talk to the clinician about ways you can keep your brain healthy.
Well, please, when you form your schedule, send us the schedule, and the mad scientists will get them on screen some kind of way. We are contemplating an exercise program that we put on online for people who are indigent, people who are in facilities that will allow them someone who lead exercise online, so that they can have a regular exercise routine. What we're having now is problem finding space to shoot the show, and all we want to do is get an instructor and have them go through whatever exercises so that the people watching can follow those exercises online. That's one of the mad scientist's favorite things, and we're going to try to get that done by middle of May for sure. So back
Let us follow up. Let us follow up with you on that, Dr. Head, because we might be able to help connect you with a person or a place where you can shoot your video. Let's put our heads together on that.
big thumbs up on that one. Thank you, ma'am. That sounds wonderful.
Yes, sir.
Doc, as we find ourselves not having the same capacity for memory, a lot of people say, well, I walk in the room sometimes and forget what I came in the room for. I do that all the time, so maybe I'm already on my way. But I'm told that that's regular as we get older, and or even younger people who start out to do one thing and end up doing 43 things before they get to the original one. How important is it that folks who feel that their memories are lapsing somewhat to see a neurologist? How important is that?
So I think it's if I think anytime we feel our memory is slipping or something is not the same, it's always important to get checked out, even if it's not a neurologist or a specialist, but even to have that conversation with your primary care, with somebody that knows you, that's been following you, to say, I'm noticing this, because there are screeners that can be done, sort of like the memory screens that Pam was talking about, that can be done. We get in to see them. But what we're finding is that early diagnosis, early identification of these emerging memory problems is increasingly important. We don't right now have a cure, but research is moving forward toward that. probably heard that in the FDA has approved 2 new medications. They're infusion, and we can't do a brain transplant or a brain replacement. So I think that's really, really, really important.
Do we not replace brain cells, as you mentioned earlier, if we continue to create blood flow to the brain? Does the brain not regenerate itself over time?
Well, the brain, so it depends on what we're regenerating from. So when we talk about Alzheimer's disease, it's a disease that continually develops and grows in the brain. So that even if we were to create new brain cells by being as active as possible, there's again, it's important to be active and to fight against that, but it's not the way that we can like treat it or stop it. But if we get to the point, I think what we're hoping is if we get to the point where we can stop Alzheimer's disease in its tracks and there's no more disease growing, then yes, then these other improve some of that brain function, grow some of those cells.
Having watched, as I told you earlier, my mother degenerate all the way into her passing from my mother when she was driving her car, going to fish. She loved to fish, taught me how to fish, to someone who was active in the church, in the community, and dwindled down to or unconsciousness, is a tough animal. It is tough for the caregiver to watch, and a lot of people are of the opinion that they are simply on death watch when Alzheimer's is the diagnosis. Is there any hope at that point in time as you see them wasting away to make them comfortable at all or reach them in their recessive cavern of darkness? It's hard to explain my question because it just continues. Where can we go to find a way to try to stimulate the end of their lives? Anything?
Yeah, that's so, and I'll just echo. It's a devastating process to watch, and that's why we're so committed at the center to doing the research. But one way to help comfort people who maybe can't speak or really are having difficulty communicating is one great technique is through music. The part of the brain that understands music and comprehends it, and even if you were a musician earlier in life or you knew how to play, for example, piano, even in late stages of Alzheimer's disease. And oftentimes music can be very soothing, particularly music from that individual's childhood or early life, or certainly music that they loved as throughout their life. We've seen people who can't recognize family members, can't do a lot of speaking or talking.
Did we lose you? Hello? Uh-oh. That you, Dot?
Yes, I've actually seen that as well.
Are you
Yeah, I
back?
think we lost her, Katie.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, Dr. Head, but I think we lost Katie.
Well, I'm looking at her number and it's on here. Let's see. Add call. That you, Doc? Hello?
Oh, I can hear you now. Sorry about that.
All right. Pam, can you hear me also? Nope.
I can hear you.
Oh, success. Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Dr. Gifford keeps losing me. Doc, you back?
I'm back.
Okay. Well, let's see here. Pam, can you hear me yet? Nope.
Trying to get her back. I would just add to the
All
point she
right.
was making about, you got her?
Doc, you there? Dr. Gifford? Oh, man. Pam?
Yes.
Dr. Gifford, are you there?
Yeah.
I see your number, but I don't hear you. Oh, goodness. Hold on a second.
Okay.
Sorry, listeners, we having a little technical difficulty.
Thank you for calling Veris Healthcare, an Adapt Health company. Your call may be monitored and recorded for quality and training purposes.
Okay.
One moment while we look up your account information.
Wow. Doc, are you there?
I'm here.
Pam, are you there? This is getting real crazy. Pam, hold on a moment. Doc, are there any early signs of decline in memory and a heading for the precipice of dementia? You still there, Doc? No, I don't have
This
it.
is,
You
yeah,
there?
this is Pam.
This is Pam.
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's see what we got.
You might want to say
There
very
we go.
normal. Oh,
Pam, you still there too?
Yes.
Doc, you there?
I'm here.
Oh, hallelujah. Keep talking, Doc.
All right. So walking into a room and forgetting what you're doing, completely normal. It's especially if you start walking back and then, oh, right, that's what I was going to go do. Completely normal. As long as you get back to that original task. And as you walk in, you know, oh, I forgot the first thing I was going to do. If you remember all those things, that's totally normal. Having
Okay.
trouble coming up with the word that you want to say, a name. That happens, occasionally, a couple of times a week, maybe. That's normal, totally normal. The things that we get concerned about are, especially when it starts, when forgetfulness starts to get in the way of our important things. Like we forget, have we eaten dinner? Have I had breakfast today? Did I take my pills? Should I?
Oops,
When
now
are
you
my
you
bills
hit me
due?
right between the eyes. Go ahead.
Uh-oh. But for kind of a very consistent, it's happening on a kind of a daily basis, not just every day, not just, oh, that wasn't really important to me, but things that are normally we would have remembered, things that are important to us, conversations that we had or events that have happened, and again, that are happening on a regular basis. Those are kind of red flags, warning signs that we would say might be worth having a discussion with, either doing a memory screen or with your doctor or seeing a neurologist.
I'm part of a stroke study that emanates from the University of Alabama, Birmingham. And they call me on the phone every 6 months now. And they have this little thing where they'll repeat 5 or 6 words to me and say, remember those, and they'll come back 10 minutes later and ask me how many of them I recall. and it becomes challenging sometimes unless I'm paying very close attention to be able to recount what they gave me. As the children of, or the caregiver to our loved ones, how best do we try to estimate their decline into dementia? I mean, just from a layman's point of view, I know you can look at it and tell it pretty quickly. You've seen it enough. But if you were to tell us something that we could look for that absolutely points in the direction of problems, what would that be?
Yeah. So I think things to look for are getting lost when we are driving to, like you said, like church, the grocery store, a place we've gone all the time. When I'm gonna be a little sexist here, but when mom, at holidays, mom can't cook the recipe that she used to cook right off the top of her head, whip it together. She might be forgetting ingredients or having to really looking to the kids for help. Dad, can't really fix the toilet or the lock or the car like he used to be able to do. Can't get up, can't get up and fix something on the ladder. So I think when we seem a little bit more confused or just not being able to do as easily those tasks that we used to be able to just fly right through.
Yeah, well, that one of the things that my mother went through, maybe the last time she came to our house to Thanksgiving dinner, was that at the end of the day, I handed her purse. Now, this purse is something she carried every day for a long time. And she told me that was not her purse. I said, but Mom, you brought it with you. That's not my purse. I have reached in the purse, got her wallet, and showed her a driver's license in her wallet that came out of the purse. That's still not my purse. And it was an awful feeling to see her confused at that point, even to the fact of something she had that she kept close to her heart all the time, and could not recognize it. And what you described as the loss of a grasp of things that people have done for years and done flawlessly and effortlessly, all of a sudden becoming a job and causing.
Absolutely.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying, absolutely, yes.
Are indicators of a slippery slope, if you will, that we can't look away from.
And I think that's a really important point, is we shouldn't look away from it. I think in the past we thought, oh, it's, that's what we do. When we get old, we can't do things as well. But what we're learning is that's not normal. That's not a normal part of aging. And that it's not something to look away from. It is scary to go and to get a diagnosis or to get checked out, but it can also give a peace of mind. And sometimes it's not dementia. It's not Alzheimer's disease. And so it might be something else that we can do. So I think, as scary as it is, your point about not looking away from it is such a great one. And there are a lot of resources, and there's a growing number of resources to help. If this is the path that we are going down, there are resources and ways that we can help make it easier for both the patient and the loved one.
Doc, one last question. Given my mention of the Regards project at the University of Alabama, Birmingham. Stroke is caused by a lack of blood flow to the brain. If we have loved ones who are engrossed in heart disease and possible strokes, is that also a real thing, a thing that we really need to watch as it relates to the loss of memory and the ability to do things?
Absolutely. That's one of the focuses of our specific Alzheimer's Center, is to really look at how the heart and how the brain are connected. Because we're learning that what we used to think that the brain was just this in its own world, and it would take the resources that it needed regardless of what was happening neck below. But we're learning that that's really not true. And what's happening in the heart when our heart is not pumping the way it should, whether from heart disease, high cholesterol, high blood pressure, whatever it is affecting our brain. And we're trying to learn more about how does changes to the blood flow in the brain and the Alzheimer's disease, how are those working together? And we think that that is a major risk factor, and potentially a reason for why some people, some groups of people or some individuals are more likely to get Alzheimer's disease than not. But absolutely, yes, very important to monitor heart health and stroke, for stroke reasons and for Alzheimer's and dementia.
Pam, I know we have sort of left you out of conversation, which is not particularly fair, but we're getting
That's okay.
a laboratory
I'm Dr. Griffith's biggest fan.
description of what you explained so well in layman's terms. What is it that the community can do to become more active with you and the Memory and Alzheimer's Center? The process of aging is something that is continual, and there is no slowing it or stopping it, and we all need to know how best to approach it. The inevitability of what life will be. Where and under what circumstance can we get the best possible mileage with you and the center?
I would just say give us a call for sure. There are lots of ways to get involved. There's lots of ways to find out more about your own brain health. We are conducting a study here. I participate in one of the studies here. So that's a great way to get a number of free assessments that really take a picture of your overall health. And our phone number, again, is 615-875-3175. That's 615-875-3175. And our next memory screening will be at Galilee Baptist Church on Herman Street. We'll be there on May 6th from 10 to 1 p.m.
You said Galilee Baptist Church on Herman Street. So it's right here in the hood, ladies and gentlemen, North Nashville. You have no excuse for missing it.
And it's on a Saturday, and we'll be there from 10 to 1.
That'll be Saturday. Okay. Well, it sounds like I need to get there and at least say hello. Maybe we can get the, what time do you start Saturday? Say again?
Yeah, we're going to start at 10. Yeah,
10 a.m.?
May 6th, that's Saturday, 10 a.m., and we'll be there till around 1.
The Mad Scientist goes to church on Saturday, so I don't know that we can get there and take any pictures. But
that's okay. But we would love to partner with more churches. So please reach out to us if it's a service.
Well, I want you to call Reverend Edwin Sanders at Metropolitan Interdenominational Church. Tell him I sent you.
Okay.
And I'm going to.
All right.
And Sunday I will initiate him into getting in touch with you. if you had one thing that you'd like to leave with our folk that watch and listen to us, what would it be, Pam?
Yeah, I want Katie to say, but what I would say, as somebody whose mom had Alzheimer's, my mother, from the time of diagnosis to the time she passed away was 12 years. And one of the things that one of the nurses used to always say to me that was in the nursing home that she eventually lived in was that your mother is still in there. And one of the points that Katie made was that the part of the brain that hears or interprets music can still be there even though that person can't communicate in any other way. So one of the things we enjoy about working with churches is trying to help families that have a faith and have a history with the church to try to stay connected with their church and to get the early diagnosis. That's something that, that people of color struggle more with, is finding out early what's going on. And Katie, I'll hand it off to you to share what your closing thought would be. Thank you, Dr. Head.
You're more than
Yeah,
welcome.
I would agree. I think I would say that it's a scary and a devastating process, but we can't fix it and we can't address it without people asking questions. And whether that be going to the doctor, whether that be coming out for events or memory screens, whether that be participating in research, that is one of the most important ways for us to work as a team, as a community, to eradicate this just awful, terrible disease.
It is scary as all get out. Many people I talk to, as you and I discussed earlier, say they would really rather have a terminal disease than to be healthy and sound and go down slow with the loss of memory. Doc, I had a notion just now. The thing of concussions in sports is becoming a real barn burner. And in relationship to what you're talking about with Alzheimer's and memory loss and dementia, may be something that is very, very consequential over time. And that is not at all to tell you what you're doing. But I just had that thought a moment ago. Thank you, ladies, for being with us. We are happy to be of service to you. Hopefully we are of some service to you, and you are serving the public very well. So we hope to continue our relationship with you. And like I said, Doc, when you need us, call us, and we'll try to oblige you as best we can. Pam, we're gonna have to put you on, get you a show online so that you can talk about memory and the things that are going on at Vanderbilt that are available to the public that are Vanderbilt does some fabulous things in the medicine area. So to have them as part of what we do and being able to help them get the word out would be a great thing for us and hopefully valuable to you. Thank you very much. As we close,
Thank you.
Y'all very welcome.
It was our pleasure. Thanks.
Take care. As we close today, I want to speak to all of my fellow alums of Fisk University. Fisk University has sent out a survey and asked questions about what type of person needs to be our next president. and I wrote a fairly lengthy reply last night myself, and I would hope that you would speak to that survey very significantly so that the opinions of the alumni are registered and recognized, and someone needs to keep a tally of how many of us actually complete the survey, because it's very important. If we don't complete it, then we can't say anything about what happens. You've got a chance to speak. Speak. Make sure you let the university's administration know the expectations that you have of a new president. I specifically put in mind that it not be someone who is already on staff at the university. We already have enough stagnation from people who are misusing the powers that they have to hold up the growth of the university. And most of you, a lot of you know what I'm talking about because you listened to my rant a few months ago when they fired our president, who now has secured another presidency. So he's not at all upset. But I'm sure when time comes, he will upset the apple cart. The day has been full of unexpected turmoil with the situation with the lousy legislature, the murder of democracy that continues. Right now, the only solution is your vote. You've got to get out and vote. You've got to get out and demonstrate. These young people in the street, go with them. Protect them. Stand by them. Let them know you appreciate them. This gun violence thing is an awful thing. I mean, there's no other way to describe it. And it keeps happening, and people keep making asinine excuses as to why. It's all about money. How much is your child's life worth? Is it worth a donation from the gun lobby to keep the same folks in office and leave the citizens out in the wind? Is that what that's about? If you look at what's going on, you would probably assess it that way. I say to you, again, how much is your daughter's life worth? How much? 3 9-year-old children shot down in cold blood. They were not angry. They were not at war. They were not even playing cops and robbers, if that ever exists anymore. But they died in a cloistered, protected, perceived safe environment. Think about it. The public schools are public. People are in and out of them all day, every day. I close, as I usually do, with a quote from the Reverend Dr. Dale P. Andrews, former Dean of Homiletics at the Vanderbilt University Divinity School, who said, "I have more questions than answers, more problems, Lord God, do we have problems, than solutions. Of these gifts I freely share." But the Reverend Joanne Robertson, who is a pastoral assistant at Metropolitan Interdenominational Church, said, "Don't allow your faith to be broken by the crazy things that you see that make no sense. Today is one of those days. Today is one of those days. Something that makes absolutely no sense. The democracy is being stolen. You'd better get up and vote, become active. God bless and keep. You have been watching Let's Talk About It. I am your host, William Head. Goodbye. Have a good